Hey everybody, it's Thursday and we are going to complete the fourth unit of the Don't Stop Deploying Challenge, Build the Account Map Display, where we're going to learn how to sync projects with Scratch orgs and manage permission sets. To get this party started, let's chat with the one, the only, Leah McGowen-Hare. You've seen her on the developer keynote stage at Dreamforce and TrailheadDX, and she's here today to talk to us about bodybuilding and SalesforceDX. Hey everybody, welcome back to this Don't Stop Deploying Challenge. I am joined today by Leah McGowen-Hare, a Salesforce employee who loves SalesforceDX. How you doing, Leah?
I'm great. How are you, Chris?
Well, I'm hanging in there. Thanks for asking. Hey, so just a quick side note. I understand that you are a professional bodybuilder.
I am. I should say an accidental professional bodybuilder. I got looped in to do this fitness competition with the gym that I work out with, and what I didn't realize, I thought the same as most people think about bodybuilding. When you think about bodybuilding, you think about big old buff people walking around, can't put their arms down. And what I learned is there's different levels of it. It's all under the umbrella of bodybuilding, but there's, bikini, figure, sports model. So I did the sports model competition, and part of sports model, you have to say a speech. So I always know one thing is always in shape is my mouth. I can talk. So I always say phenomenal speeches. And, of course, I'm also fit. After like two or three after my first one, I was hooked, and I was still an amateur. So I did three more. And my third one, I got my professional card for professional sports model. And it's under the Bodybuilding International Natural Bodybuilding Association. So it's all natural. We get drug tested. It was not my goal. I was up for the challenge to train with my team for the first fitness competition. And after that first one, you kind of get hooked. So I was like, oh, I think I want to do another one and another one. So by the third one, I got my professional card. So I told my trainer, I'm a professional bodybuilder. She goes, yep, you got the card. I have a card. So
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Salesforce?
Well, Salesforce, I just started. I've been with Salesforce since 2009. I initially started as a technical trainer, training all the wonderful community, our customers and our employees on the platform, how to build applications on the platform using both point-and-click solutions as well as code solutions, programmatic solutions. So I would train from developers to admins, just the whole variety of people. And I did that for a good while. Then I moved over into another group inside of TMP, probably last April, April 2016. I was working in there on Trailhead for our internal engineers, so curating trails to help our engineers to be able to do their job more effectively. And then maybe about a month ago now, I moved over into evangelism under the developer evangelism umbrella, where I get to just talk about our amazing technologies, and I get to still do a little bit of teaching on it and still evangelizing it, and it's all things platform.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, and welcome to the team. Hey, so quick question. Why are you excited about SalesforceDX?
Why would I not be excited about SalesforceDX? It's amazing. You have the, I'm kind of old school. I like the CLI, the command line interface. I like typing commands, and those features are really nice, but really what I love about DX is that it's really about putting your source at the center of development, where it should be. So it's not org-centric. So if I don't have to worry about all my code living in some org that might expire, right? So I have it in my version control. I have all of, my source there. And I love, I love a lot of things about it, but I really think it's about, putting my source at the center of what I do and making it easier to tie in to continuous integration, which is the way of development today, right?
Cool. So who do you think SalesforceDX is built for?
I think largely it's meant for professional developers who use version control tools and are comfortable with the command line interface. However, with that said, the underlying philosophy, it applies to all Salesforce developers, including our low-code developers and our admins. So, there's great trails out there where people can learn and get hands-on that will step you through it. So for our low-code developers that might feel a little bit intimidated by it, it's definitely something that's achievable.
We talked a little bit about continuous integration and professional developers. I'm just curious what you think the biggest problem SalesforceDX solves for our developers.
I think for customers, the largest challenge so far is focused on modularizing their production code base, so that you can easily drive continuous integration. I mean, code is constantly changing, right? And you can't just throw your stuff out into production. The smallest of change needs to be ensured quickly that it's not going to break anything, right? It can't be these layers upon layers before it actually gets pushed out. I mean, apps are being updated regularly. You have your own favorite apps that, they're like, do you want your update? Do you want your update? Well, the code behind it is being updated every day. So you need to ensure that that code meets quality standards. And with continuous integration, that's exactly what it does. And it does it in a very quick fashion, right? So I think that's one of the things. And many of our customers have been sort of customizing Salesforce environments for years, making sense of everything, of all the stuff that they've done, and put a lot of time into doing that. But now we have a mechanism that's easier for them to do this.
Cool. Well, I was going to ask you how DX is going to improve development on Salesforce, and I think you already nailed that question. So I'll go ahead and skip ahead. Here's a slight twist on it, though. How do you think SalesforceDX is going to change team development at Salesforce?
Well, I think one of the big things is that it's more agile, right? It allows flexibility. There's version control. I mean, that's just huge in development. So, before, if you had one developer is working in Sandbox, another one's working in DE, and they merge it into some staging environment, somebody's going to overwrite. There's the possibility of overwriting somebody else's stuff. There is no version control. So now, I mean, and not to say seasoned developers would be able to coordinate that, yes. But now we don't even have to we can take the guessing out of that. And with putting your VCS, your version control, at the center of how you operate, makes the team development more cohesive, more flexible, and definitely more collaborative.
Awesome. So I understand you recently completed the app development with SalesforceDX module. Is that right?
I completed it like several weeks ago. Yeah, it's great. People need to get on it and do it. You get to do some cool stuff in there. I'm not going to spoil the surprise for you, but there's some good stuff out there.
Would you maybe share like your favorite part of that module or something interesting that you learned?
Hands down, Scratch orgs. Scratch orgs is where it's at. Like being able to spin up an org like that and not having a password to have to sign in, that alone is worth doing the module.
You heard it here, folks. Scratch orgs. Gonna drift out a little bit more here. Hey, I'm curious. Do you have a favorite feature within SalesforceDX? I mean, we just talked about Scratch orgs. That could be it.
Right. A wish list or a favorite feature? The Scratch orgs are my favorite. Scratch orgs are definitely my favorite.
Awesome. How about your favorite development tools in general?
I do like the CLI. I like the command line interface. I like the Force.com IDE. I like. Well, I'm gonna hold off because we're gonna preview it this Friday in our winter preview, another IDE. But I like a lot of stuff. Anything that allows me to make changes quickly and test them easily.
Awesome. You heard it. Okay, folks. Leah's dropping all the knowledge today. Friday, something cool is going to be announced in our webinar. Last question for you, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us. Last question. Do you have any wish list items for the SalesforceDX roadmap?
I would like to see a UX for a user interface for SalesforceDX. I love the command line, but I think if there's a strong UX developed for, we can actually open it up more to our low-code developers and get them in there and be more inclusive of the different types of developers out there.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, Leah, again, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We'll look forward to learning all kinds of new cool stuff at the release webinar this Friday.
All right, great. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks, Leah. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us for the Don't Stop Deploying Challenge today. If you have any questions on the challenge or today's module, be sure to check out don'tstopdeploying.com or tweet your questions with hashtag AskForce and hashtag Don'tStopDeploying to Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow for our next challenge. Thanks again.